open. A very warm welcome back from Germany. This is Michaela Soule Marketing. I am doing another wonderful live session with really a great partner of mine in Zimbabwe and wonderful person, Wendy. And we are talking today about, I think, something really important, and that is air access into Zimbabwe. A very warm welcome to you, Wendy. How are you? How is Zimbabwe?
All good, thanks, Michaela. Yes, we now finally not focusing on coronavirus anymore. It's still there and it's still affecting our travels, but I think there are a lot of rules and regulations that have been given up. I think in America, I'm not sure, I don't think you have to wear a mask anymore on an airplane.
There is actually quite a lot of countries. Yeah, there's a lot of countries that have waived a lot of things. Here in Germany as well, there's certain regions which are a bit more strict still, like Bavaria, the south of Germany where I am, we still have to wear masks all over the show. But apparently in the north and everywhere else, they're lifting restrictions quite a bit. So it's a good thing.
In Zimbabwe, certainly going into shops, we definitely have to wear masks. Mm-hmm. You know, Vic Falls is a resort town, and I'm going to repeat this about 400 times. You know, 90, I think it's 98% of adults over 18 are fully vaccinated in Vic Falls. 90, I think it's 98% of our staff are double vaccinated. So, you know, we really are into a good tourism bubble there with the vaccinations. And, you know, even when you're on a game drive, you know, you've got all this fresh air around you. So we're obviously still sanitizing hands, and staff are wearing masks and things. But I'm really hoping that it is going to all be lifted. You know, I'm almost sure we're going to have a fourth wave. I think this is going to be something that is going to be ongoing for quite a while, but each wave I think is going to be less severe.
Less and less, absolutely.
Until we get rid of it. So it's something that we've got to live with, and it's not that big scary thing anymore. And I think it's getting weaker and weaker, fortunately.
I agree with you. I mean, it's the same here. Look, our numbers are climbing actually at the moment, but also the people are more relaxed about it. And I think this is a major thing, that people start trying to actually rather live with it than to be afraid of it, you know. And correct. I think, and yes, we also have to obey rules. You know, we're still wearing masks in shops, and we sanitize our hands when we come into shops and stuff like that. And but I think it's also a really, really important thing that people start thinking in a different way about it, actually, and opening up. And I can see they are opening up, because when I speak to agencies here, I mean, you can see a lot of people are traveling already again. They want to get into the sun. They want to get out of Germany, because we've sit here now for what, 2.5 years almost. It's time. Wendy, it's time. Vic Falls. And I personally love Vic Falls. I think this is such a fabulous place. It's such cool people and such nice experiences you actually have there. Talk a little bit with me about Victoria Falls as such, and what we see on the slide here, and what you want to say about it actually.
So I mean, obviously it is the number one destination in Zimbabwe. It's kind of unbelievably handy when it's on the corner there. We've got 4 countries. So once you're in Vic Falls, you've got you can go anywhere in the region. And I know we're going to get to that just now. But, you know, it is a tourist town. There's no other major industry there. So everybody there is there to look after us. We all understand that we're in hospitality. It is one of the 7 wonders of the world. So people are in South Africa, if they're coming from Joburg or from Kruger, it's about an 1.5-hour flight. If they're coming from Cape Town, it's 3 hours. And you know what I always say to people? Do it on this occasion. They say, oh, we'll do it another occasion. Here, you're paying another, I don't know what it is. I'm just going to say $250 to fly. On another occasion, you're going to have to buy a whole new international ticket.
I agree.
And by then, you might be deciding that you're going to go to Vietnam or somewhere. So get it done now. You never know. I think, in fact, that's the one thing that Corona should have taught us all, is seize the moment.
100%. And you know what, also what a lot of people, what I always find, don't know how much you can actually do at Vic Falls. I know we're talking about air access just now as well, but for me, it's always quite interesting to see that a lot of people don't know that you have such a lot of variety of activities actually offered at Vic Falls. I mean, apart from all the adventure stuff like gorge swinging, bungee jumping, river rafting, hiking, you do a beautiful walk at Victoria Falls, actually along, when you see my cursor, along this gorge, you're actually walking, there's a pathway and people can walk, they take photos, you can do it guided, not guided, at the bridge here. Is that the train ride on the side here? Yeah, there's a train actually running onto the bridge, and I love this kind of thing, and people don't know about it, actually still don't. And I love talking about it because they always say, oh, wow, really, this is fabulous. And I'm very, very, very happy to talk about this as well.
So, Michaela, I'm going to go off the point and you're going to have to pull me back onto the point, but exactly what you just said, and of course, with the close down for 2 years, we're still all doing a startup. I mean, I think we've probably got 2/3 of our staff back. Like our shuttle bus is running 4 times a day and not hourly at this minute. But all these things will pick up, as soon as business picks up, in proportion, all these activities will pick up.
Yes.
But another thing I think coronavirus has taught us is we don't want to be hopping everywhere. Instead of doing 4 countries in 10 days, let's do 3 countries in 10 days and spend, instead of 2 nights, spend 3 or 4 nights. And for me particularly, and I say this ad nauseum, Vic Falls is such a good place to end up. When you're arriving, you're excited and coming into Africa, you want to go and see game.
Yes.
You've been thrown out of bed at 5 o'clock every morning. When you get to Vic Falls, let's try and do a minimum of 3 nights. It doesn't mean then you're ending up having to do 2 or 3 activities a day. And quite frankly, you're more than tired, you're buggered. Now, if you're there for 3 or 4 nights, you don't have to get up early every day. You can lie in one day, you can do an activity that afternoon. The next day you can do an activity in the morning and sit by the pool or whatever in the afternoon. So for me, that's a huge thing. And the other thing with Corona is to say, this whole seize the moment. Let's try and we haven't seen our family for ages, so let's now kill 2 birds with 1 stone, although I'm a tree hugger and a bunny lover and I don't kill anything, is to travel with your family, go on holiday with your family.
100%. And if you take your family with, I mean, there's another option, of course, as well. If you want to spend longer time at a certain place, you can work from these places, even if you have to maybe to put a day aside, do it. There is Wi-Fi everywhere. And I mean, at our products at Africa Albida Tourism at Victoria Falls Safari Lodge or the club or the suites, we have fabulous Wi-Fi access. And I mean, you have all the freedom to maybe steal yourself away for an hour and just do your mails quickly. It's not a train smash. Yeah.
On that note, and it's almost a golden secret at the top of Vic Falls Safari Lodge, and anybody can go there. It used to be called the library because there was 1 book there, but now we've called it the residence lounge. You've got that whole view over the waterhole. Do you know how many times when we're up there for meetings, I go up there? I think everybody thinks I've taken a cup of coffee, but I think it's probably more than coffee. I have a pair of binoculars and I have my computer and I work up there, and it's absolutely fabulous.
And I agree.
Nobody bothers you. So, I can do a whole hour of work and then I can sit and stare at the waterhole. And as you know, doesn't matter what time of year, even in the green season, we have warthogs, impala, baboons
all
running around.
So exactly.
Something there.
And vulture culture.
Quickly going to go back now. I'm going to go back to my picture because I haven't told you about Vic Falls.
You're welcome.
Okay. So this picture actually probably was taken in, I would say, March, April.
Water level.
So the falls, nobody understands this. We keep hearing about the falls drying up. Every river gets less as the season dries up. So
That's it.
the falls is attached to the Zambezi River. So in the beginning of January, it's generally very, very dry. And then the rain comes, the water's pushed down from northern Zambia. So from mid-February, March, April, May, there's very good water. And then it starts getting less from June onwards. And I know I'm getting really right off the point, but from January to June, we don't charge a single room supplement. So, May, June for me is a lovely time of year to come. And we're slightly cheaper. It's the green season.
I was about to say you have special offers, etc. So it could be worth it actually really having a look at it. And also our holiday seasons are starting in that time, For Europe, it's summer holidays, and it's actually a fabulous time of the year in Victoria Falls. So absolutely right. So
I'm now going to stop talking and let you get to the next slide so we can
Thank you very much. Because you have to get to Vic Falls as well at one point. And I must say, I love this airport. I must say, I think we were one of the first ones flying in. And ever since, I look forward to coming to that airport because it's quick and easy. I love it. I really do.
It is good. And actually, this picture here, on the left-hand side, that's the old international airport. So it was kind of a tiny little thing. And so it's really very big. And we've got 3, are they called skywalks for the planes? So we upgraded the airport in May 2016. The runway is 4 kilometers long, and it's a category 2. So we can put down wide-bodied aircraft now. So before we were restricted as to what planes could come in. So that in itself is now making it easier, desirable airport to get into.
Also for the airlines, also to come into Zimbabwe, into Victoria Falls.
Yeah. So just quickly about the Uni Visa, it's $50, and if people are arriving in Livingston and coming across to us, depending on what their mode of transport is, they can get this visa, and it also allows for a day trip into Botswana. So it's really worthwhile because it's a one-off payment, and we're not fiddling around.
Super. Exactly.
Again, I'm going to go off the point, and you'll have to tell me what the point is eventually. Just to remind everybody, we accept Visa, Visa, Amex, MasterCard here. But if people are at the airport and they want to buy a Coke, if they give $10, they're not going to get any change. And if they do get change, very well how filthy our notes are because they use so much. So the one thing I tell everybody is, if they're on a 2-3 week safari, bring at least $100 of $1 notes. In fact, usually what
small
I say
change.
is $200 of $100 notes and $300 of $5 notes. If you don't use it, you can just put it back in your bank when you get home, but it just makes it easier and less stressful. So that's a really...
That's very good advice, Wendy, because people, and I keep forgetting to mention it actually, because it's quite almost natural to do it this way, but you're absolutely right to say it here. It's really good advice.
The other thing is, with bringing that small change, every single person should not be allowed into Zimbabwe unless they have their own pair of binoculars.
I thought we get them from you.
I spend my life doing marriage guidance when there's only one pair of binoculars between a couple, and when you need it, you both need it.
I know that one. Not with marriage guidance, but with my mom. I want.
Yeah.
All right, Wendy, listen, we have to fly in as well. And I think there's some really fabulous news now. And now we're getting to access to Zimbabwe.
This is the point. And particularly, I'm discussing access actually into Victoria Falls. So at the moment, flying direct, Ethiopian Airlines and Kenya Airways are coming in direct into Vic Falls. And that's my whole point. Once people get to Vic Falls, Zambia is easy, Botswana is easy, Windhoek, Namibia. And
Namibia is absolutely, and they love this stretch actually. A lot of people are flying Namibia as well through that. And I always say, stop Vic Falls, get out, have a couple of days at Victoria Falls as well, and then, you know, continue your journey. Absolutely.
So, Michaela, particularly, I think for your market, the fact that Eurowings is coming in, I think, is unbelievably just fantastic for everybody, because that is going from flying from Frankfurt. Windhoek, and then into Victoria Falls. And we'll talk more about that. So that flight, Airlink coming in from Cape Town, because Cape Town, I think between, you know, you've got Cape Town, Kruger, and Vic Falls really are kind of the three must-dos in our part of the world. So we've got Airlink direct from Cape Town, and then Fastjet has started flying in from Nelspruit, and they're in a 50-seater Embraer, and they're flying 3 times a week on a Monday, Wednesday, Friday.
Cool.
So access into Vic Falls is wonderful. So again, and I repeat, for me, I think it's, you know, people do start their safari in Vic Falls, and sometimes they do something in Zim and then Vic Falls in the middle and something else. But the majority of people still at this point are finishing off their safari. And I just think it's a lovely place because you can relax. The ladies can go and get their hair done. You can go to go to the spa, and then recharge your batteries for your long haul trip home. So those are the very good flights. Obviously, I think it's, and I haven't got I think it's from May, I think, that Fastjet are coming in from Maun. So that's going to be an excellent. Yeah.
Yes, I was about to say, because you didn't mention Maun yet. Okay, cool.
Yeah, so that's going to be a great trip in. Also, you know, Mac Air are flying from Kasane to Vic Falls. It's a quick and easy flight.
Yeah.
So if people don't want to do a road transfer, they can do that as well. So, you know, it really has opened up. And of course, Air Zim are doing Harare and Bulawayo. And again, Fastjet every day are doing Harare and Vic Falls. So if people are coming in on Qatar or Ethiopian into Harare, we've got a daily flight across to Vic Falls. So really,
it has improved largely. That's super cool. That really is important. I think very, very important. I mean, we have this map available for everyone who wants to maybe have it. Just drop either Wendy or myself an email after you've seen this, because I think this is a really handy thing to have, and that you be reminded of on which airlines would go, which links. Here we go.
Okay, just on that note, and we can actually go to the next slide, because I'm just going to discuss that, I think.
Yes.
Have you any idea of the cost of the flights? Are they putting on specials as a starter, do you know?
Well, as far as I know, they are at the moment, as people looked it up already, around about 600-700 euros at the moment. But obviously, I mean, you have to be fast and furious for this prices, because I think we will see an increase in it, and I'm sure they want to do some specials at the beginning.
So when you mention get in there fast and furious, also we just mentioned that everything is starting to go to open up, but it's still quiet at the moment. So boy, it's the best time to come on safari. You haven't got more vehicles around you. You've got a good possibility of getting a lion or leopard sighting with nobody else there. So fast and furious is exactly what we want to hear.
I know. I know, Wendy. But you know what? It's also, I mean, our holidays are starting in June. As I said, our big summer holidays are starting in June. We have little breakaways. But it's too short, basically, to you know, for 3-4 days to do a long journey like this. When we have our big summer holidays, I think this is something really that they should be looking at, because, as I said, and as you said, I mean, it's special time also for Victoria Falls, and they can get some very good deals at that time of the year. So we're doing Eurowings Victoria Falls Airport event. What's happening there?
Yes, so on the 30th of March, we've the flight comes in. So we're going to be getting our water cannons out for our fire engines, and so they're coming in. We're doing a launch actually at Vic Falls Safari Lodge, and the Boma. And it's, we're just thrilled. I mean, Michaela, the history of Safari Lodge. I mean, in the early days, we had a huge German following coming into Zimbabwe altogether, actually.
Yes, actually. Yeah, absolutely. Wendy, can you hear me?
Yes, I'm still here.
Sorry. Oh, sorry.
So we're going, so from that, so the two new, very exciting routes for us are Eurowings coming in from Windhoek into Vic Falls, and then now the Nelspruit. So Fastjet now going from Kruger to Vic Falls. You know what always happened? They had to go back to Joburg, and then the flights didn't connect, and then you had to waste an overnight in an airport hotel, which was, so this is very exciting. This, so it's starting, as I said, it's 3 days a week, Monday, Wednesday, Friday. So for me, that's going to be a great time saver to get people from Kruger up to us.
Absolutely. And the Europeans, they love the Kruger Park as well, and Sabi and adjacent game reserves. And I must say, this is a fabulous connection actually to go up to you and to see Vic Falls on that side then as well. You said 3 times a week they're going?
3 times a week, yeah. So that was the guys. They arrived when they arrived last week, which was kind of fun to have a hashtag. So, and again, we had the water cannons going. So I was very pleased to hear that there was no fire anywhere else, because we were busy with welcoming Canaan. But that's very exciting news. And then the next news is the Fastjet from Maun. So, really congratulations to Fastjet, but really opening us up. And Michaela, that next slide, that really gives you the full view of the falls. And again, you can see how green it is. So
stunning.
It definitely was taken probably March, April. Yeah. And you can see, in fact, which side of the falls has more water, because look at the height of the spray on the Zimbabwe side.
Yeah, this is the Zimbabwe side. Yeah, just for anyone.
The local name for Victoria Falls is Mozio Tunya, the smoke that thunders, and one that does just look like smoke. And as you've been there at this time of the year, it's thundering, because that water's flowing over, pounding down, then spraying up, and then raining back down. So it really is magnificent. The thing is, at this time of the year, though, you tend to have to do one of the Flight of Angels, because there is so much water. So you can see the falls at any time of the year. As it dries out, you actually have a better view of the whole mile wide. At this time of the year, if you don't do a Flight of Angels, you kind of, see a lot of white spray in front of you.
That's true. But what I also like doing is actually these, it just reminded me when I looked at those pictures, is actually how beautiful these cruises are up on the, before the falls actually. And you do that in the evenings, and it's just fabulous. You see a lot of animals actually on the water edges, and you're having a really great time in these wonderful, wonderful boats and people servicing you, and it's really, really something spectacular. You should always do that when you're there as well.
And also good for birding. And these cruises, it's not only a sunset cruise. They do a lunch cruise. They do a morning breakfast cruise. And often your traveling days are always a pain in the neck. That's when everybody loses their passport, because they're bored and they're irritated and they put things down. So, if people are doing a late flight out, I think a lunch cruise is excellent, because you're doing something.
Exactly. Yeah. And you're actually sort of sheltered still, because you're out about, and you're sheltered. You're not exposed to the sun too much unless you want it. And I must say, I really enjoyed it. I mean, from a birding point of view, yes. I remember our last cruise, Wendy. I mean, you had binoculars with you all the time, because I didn't even think of taking mine, but you're absolutely right. There were lots of birds actually around, and other animals for that matter.
Yeah, absolutely.
Super cool.
Absolutely. So, Michaela, I think that's what to say. I do say that we went off the point more than we were on the point.
Just slightly.
I'm sure everybody's heard something.
I think, but you know what? You cannot be off the point, because I think every information is really an important information at the moment. And as we're restarting, we see here, I mean, I see it with my clients a lot. There's a lot of staff change. There's lots of young people coming into the industry, and they haven't been maybe to Victoria Falls yet. So I think for them to see something like this and to get all the information all around it as well is very, very important. So I think there is never ever going off the point. We discussed access, and I think we have great access now to Victoria Falls. I'm really, really, really happy about that, and that is why I decided to do this talk with you today, because I think it's really important for everyone to know how to get there now.
So the last thing, I'm going to read this off so I make sure I get it absolutely correct. And this was from effect of the 28th of January this year. Travelers arriving into Zimbabwe by air will only need to produce a negative PCR COVID-19 test taken within 48 hours of their departure for Zimbabwe. So that is good news, and things are starting to get less strict.
Yeah, and it's about time. It's about time. Anyway, I think we covered all of it. I mean, look, if there is questions from any viewer out there, please let us know. We cannot touch on everything. There is, of course, still some rules and regulation when you cross bordering countries and things like that. Please let us know what you need to know, and then we with pleasure get back with you with all the details to you. Wendy, thanks so much for your time again. I know that you've been up early today. Yes. So have a fabulous morning, and
thank you very much.
and love to Victoria Falls, to everyone involved, and to all the team members. And I look forward to do soon another recording with you, and saying thank you very much and goodbye from Germany.
Excellent. Goodbye from Zimbabwe.
Bye, Wendy.